The City of Bristol, providing beautiful parks, economic development, and a family-friendly community.
Recognized tonight by the Mayor and the Bristol Youth Commission's Annual Service Recognition Award. And whereas the individual youth receiving these awards tonight have demonstrated outstanding volunteer efforts to unselfishly help others through the use of his and her own thoughtfulness, time, special talents, and skills, and dedication to the betterment of the community. And now, therefore, I, Ellen Zappo-Sassu, Mayor of the City of Bristol, on behalf of the City Council, take great pleasure in honoring all of them, and to thank all of them for their dedicated and compassionate efforts. In witness thereof, I hereby sign my name and cause the seal of the City of Bristol to be affixed this 8th day of May in the year of our Lord, 2018. And it looks like this.
So our first recipient this evening will be the group award recipient. This will be going to the Kids in the Middle group, and accepting on behalf of the Kids in the Middle is their coordinator, Amy Campestano. Kids in the Middle has volunteers from Chippens Hill Middle School as well as West Bristol Middle School. These individual students have completed over 1,200 hours of volunteer service. They have been a positive presence at many of our family-oriented community events here in Bristol, including the Special Imagination Museum events, Bristol Library's Halloween Gala, and Indian Rocks Holiday and Maple Sugar events. Kids in the Middle students have also volunteered at several local organizations such as Countryside Manor, Necessities Cupboard Pantry, Appetite for Reading Program, and the Challengers Program of the Bristol Boys and Girls Club. Kids in the Middle program provides a wonderful opportunity to connect with peers while making a difference volunteering throughout our Bristol community and within their own school community. The benefits extend to all students, staff, and families, and the positive energy and efforts are felt citywide. So again, congratulations to the Kids in the Middle group. Next are our, do we want to take a quick break? Okay.
I think we're just going to take a quick 30-second break so that the Kids in the Middle can get their medals and we can have a picture taken in the lobby. Is that okay? Okay. Okay.
Jacob Nelson, who's a student at Bristol Central High School. Jacob balances his leadership positions, sports, and volunteering with academics. He is currently the president of this year's Interact Club at BCHS. Jacob also volunteers with his church in a program called Family Promise Program, preparing meals and creating activities for homeless families. Jacob also was chosen to be a part of the golf team captain both his junior and senior year. He never says no to anything that arises and is selfless with his time and ideas. Congratulations, Jacob Nelson. Our next recipient is Stanley Cardona, also a student at Bristol Central High School. Stanley has over 300 hours of volunteer work helping children with their homework assignments as part of the Power Hour program at Bristol Boys and Girls Club. Local children from local low-income families have a better holiday also, thanks to Stanley's effort in delivering, sorting donations by age, gender, and selecting toys inappropriate for teens, and delivering these donations to select youth servicing organizations. Stanley is a true role model for youth. He has all A's in school and is dedicated to giving back to his community through volunteerism. Congratulations, Stanley.
Somebody forgot to put youth cabinet on their resume.
Our next recipient is Quinn Von Tell, who is also a student at Bristol Central High School. Quinn has been volunteering at the Bristol Hospital for 2.5 years. He has been an exceptional volunteer, performing all tasks given with little supervision. He is a young man with much maturity and compassion, and he has assisted in training new junior volunteers with no hesitation. He gets along very well with his peers and supervisors, and he never hesitates to work as much as he can while on duty with great responsibility and dedication. Quinn is also part of the Future Business Leaders of America. Through his involvement in this group, he participates in a fundraiser for Smile Chain, an organization that sends dentists and orthopedic surgeons to operate on children in third world countries. Congratulations to Quinn. Our next recipient is Lexi Mia Goslin, who is a student at St. Paul Catholic High School. Lexi has volunteered over 80 hours at the Miles Goslin Foundation to support the education and opportunity of teenagers to advance in academics, sports, and other ventures that will be positive and productive. Lexi is also involved in organizing and participating in everything leading up to and including the evening of the Christmas Wish, such as shopping for gifts for children and families, making sure each child receives what is on their list, and even dressing up as an elf to bring gifts to the families. There have been over 250 underprivileged children and families whose lives have been touched by the work that Lexi has done with Christmas Wish Connecticut. Lexi shows exceptional maturity and leadership for her age. Congratulations to Lexi Goslin. And our final recipient this evening of the Individual Volunteer Award goes to Joy Harris, who is a student at Bristol Central High School. Joy is a student who is also an appointed member of the Bristol Youth Commission. Joy also volunteers at the Bristol Senior Center and implemented the idea for an activity to make gingerbread houses with the seniors with the help of the director. She currently volunteers with a kindergarten class at a Bristol elementary school. Joy holds the title of Peer Education President at her school for the second year, representing the Bristol Youth Services Program. Joy is a well-rounded young woman, a good student, an athlete, a peer leader, and an outstanding volunteer. She has a confidence that is contagious to those whom she is around. Congratulations to Joy Harris. I also want to acknowledge this evening all the hard work that the Director of Bristol Youth Services, Eileen McNulty, does, as well as her administrative assistant, Martha Bravo Ladovico. And I'd like to thank the Bristol Youth Commissioners who are here this evening, Kim Carmelik, Tanya Ledesma, Josh Medeiros, Joy Harris, and those who couldn't be here this evening. We also have Officer Jeffrey Beauchamp, Barbara Callahan, Deb All, Ethan Grabowski, who are also on the Bristol Youth Commission. So again, thank you for helping us to celebrate the 26th Youth Recognition Awards. And I think they'll probably have one picture, final picture taken with everybody before we break. So again, thank you very much.
Everyone for their patience with that wonderful ceremony. Thank the Youth Commission again, and just remind everyone that we do have an active youth cabinet. So if anybody has young people that are interested in participating and learning more about government, they have that opportunity. We actually also have a vacancy on the Youth Commission for a youth representative. So the next item on our agenda is the approval of our minutes from our regular City Council meeting on April 10th and the special City Council meetings on the 27th, and it's April 9th.
Move to accept.
Second.
Any clarifications or corrections needed for any of those sets of minutes as presented? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. For public participation, our nonprofit spotlight for tonight is Nutmeg TV.
Good evening.
Evening.
Madam Mayor, City Council members, my name is Joni Sutter, and I'm the Executive Director of Nutmeg Television. Thank you for the invitation to be your guest on tonight's Nonprofit Spotlight. We appreciate the opportunity to provide you with a brief overview. There are some brochures at your seat there that you can look at your leisure. Nutmeg TV operates exclusively as an educational 501c3 corporation to provide quality and innovative public education and government television programming to 8 cities and towns in central Connecticut. Nutmeg is 28 years old. I, along with my predecessor, Dale Clift, a dedicated team of board directors, talented staff, producers, and volunteers over the years, have made Nutmeg TV what it is today. We are a 2-time National Telly Award winner in professional programming. We have received much state and local recognition for public television through the years, and we are certainly proud of those achievements, but I mention them today so folks can understand that their local public TV channel and station is really the tops in the state and an outstanding resource that they can use at no cost. Regulated by the Public Utility Regulatory Authority, Nutmeg TV is funded by customers of Comcast and Frontier through a legislative mandate. We provide programming to Comcast and Frontier over 9 channels dedicated to public education and government TV, with channels on both the standard and high definition tiers. Nutmeg TV program is available anytime, anywhere, on any device, with distribution platforms also found on our website and YouTube, which is now easily accessible from Comcast's new integrated YouTube app. Nutmeg TV's facility is centrally located in Farmington. We have almost 9,000 square feet of digital studios, edit suites, and field equipment available free of charge to residents who want to produce television programming. We teach classes, take clients from shooting video right through the edit process to distribution in quick and easy steps. Nutmeg also actively seeks quality programming and produces some of our own content to maintain viewer value and offer community awareness. Some of our Bristol programs and partners include Bristol Hospital, the Veterans Corner, Memorial Day Parade, Mum Festival Parade, the Mayor's City Council, Mayor's Youth Cabinet, Bristol City Council, Bristol Board of Ed, Bristol Tramps, Bristol Sports Hall of Fame, Bristol Library, Bristol High School graduations, Bristol Police Department, to name a few. We recently produced a TV paranormal investigation in Burlington called Spirits of the Valley, to be released in May. We work with the Better Business Bureau and the Connecticut State Police on consumer alerts, and we will be featuring the Bristol Agape House, which is a nonprofit that appeared before you. I actually heard about them from this nonprofit spotlight, and we'll be giving them a half-hour program on what they're doing. We're active on social media. We use Facebook Live as an interactive tool during programs so people can interact with the content that's happening on the channel. We invite you to like us on Facebook to stay tuned. We have enjoyed a wonderful relationship for over 25 years with the City of Bristol. We're very grateful for that. We don't take it lightly. We are committed to bringing programming to the citizens of this community and are grateful for that partnership. The work that the BDA's Justin Malley and Mark Thomas have done on Uniquely Bristol is a testament to that commitment. Mark's production and talent experience, coupled with Nutmeg's production staff, have created a program that is really outstanding. No other city or town is reached that level at all with their programming. In closing, state funding that was allocated for local TV has been swept many, many times. We, like all nonprofits, are required to fundraise. And in order to keep ahead of our ever-changing and very expensive technology, Nutmeg TV must look for diversified revenue to continue our work. We have a conversion service that's our fundraising tool, where we allow people who have slides, photos, videotape to convert them to disc or file. And that is our fundraiser. All work is done at our facility and nothing is sent out. I invite folks to visit us on our website at www.nutmegtv.org for more information about us or using our facility. I thank you again for this guest spotlight, and we look forward to our continued work with the City of Bristol. Thank you.
Thank you, Joni.
Thank you.
Continuing on with public participation, we have one person to address the council so far, but if anybody did arrive late and would like to address the council, you just need to raise your hand and we'll be happy to accommodate you. The only person to sign up on the sheet from outside is Brian Cohen. Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
The glasses. First off, I have something called Bell's palsy right now. It's a temporary paralysis. So I'm wearing the glasses. Considering that many people have many more difficult things to go through in life, I felt that I would be a coward if I didn't come here and speak, even though I don't feel 100%. So here I am. 2, my hairdo. I have an unusual hairdo. I really do. I know this. Back in 2011, I started from scratch. My hair was going to be grown to donate for cancer. See that? See that? In 2013, it locked up, and it really wasn't suitable for donation anymore. My friend passed away in December of 2016, and I've kept the hair. It is just a hairdo. But you would be surprised how many people can't get past what you look like, your color of your skin, your religion, the imaginary lines that you happen to be born. And the hairdo that I carry sometimes helps me separate myself from those who cannot get past the hairdo. I have no time for people like that. I just move on. Now, why am I here? In 2015, it came to the point where I had to start to film a documentary regarding why a certain community leader became a community leader in the city of Bristol. I never shot a film before, and I asked the mayor's office if you need permits. Police report, or actually the secretary, said that Cohen was professional and made no threats. No permits were needed. But the former mayor chose to call the police on me and have me investigated. You guys paid for this. When I asked the mayor, or tried to ask the mayor, what was up? Because after the investigation, that was clear. I did no wrong. Why would you pay for this? To do this to me? He didn't want to talk to me. I said, fine. We'll just make you part of the film. The other problem with the police report was that somebody lied. The community leader actually lied to the face of the Bristol police as if they were stupid. One example was, don't know when or where, at his home or his office. But apparently, I was approaching this guy, tried to go into business together. And I did this repeatedly. And then this guy politely declined my advances. On a sworn statement to the police, this guy does this. This is like me saying, hey, you. Yeah, police officer, this woman came to my house. I can't remember when or where. Wanted to go to business with me. I was repeatedly, politely declined. Or you, sir. Yeah, police officer, this guy came. Repeatedly contacting me. I had to politely decline this guy. That is not what police should be having to listen to. But I can tell you why I do not sue Mayor Kenny Cocaine. Because the secretary did not change her story. At the time, my biggest fear was I was going to come to Bristol, pick up this police report, and find out that woman changed her mind. Suddenly decided to say that, oh no, Cohen is threatening people. He's on drugs or something. Look at his hair. But she did not do that. She stayed true. But we do know in this world, especially in Bristol, people can sometimes be retaliated against. Maybe pushed around, change your story. Well, that wouldn't stay true. The police, they stay true to the law as well. Chief Ford's a good man. That was clear. The reason why you don't investigate the liar, the community leader hired without a search, and I investigated this, is because I was clear. Police don't have the resources to investigate every fool who decides they're going to lie to the face of the police like they're stupid. It's just water. It's actually not that easy to come up here and talk like this, huh? You get a dry mouth. I tried for a full month and a half to talk to that guy, just to clear the air so I can move on to what the documentary is about. That guy was more willing for me to litigate and stick you people with the bill. He's not here anymore. I can tell you all to your face, you, all of you, that I would not lie about you, about anything. I should show you a history of how strong I can be. And I don't think the majority of people in Bristol would lie to the police either. Hence, I decided to wait my turn to begin to speak to the people of Bristol. The other mayor wouldn't let me speak. I would come here month after month after month and sit there patiently. And then I would be completely ignored as if I did not exist. Although you people paid for this. You paid to do this to me. How much time you get? You got 3 minutes? Am I done?
Well,
Oh, I apologize then.
it's okay.
No, I will be back next month. No, because you need to learn. This is what you pay for.
Okay.
Before I go, people should never be afraid of an individual's idea. The opportunity to come and speak is what we're all supposed to be about. But you should always be aware and be afraid of those people who want to silence you. All right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brian. Is there anybody else in the audience that didn't get here in time to sign up on the public sign-up sheet that would like to address the council? Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to announcements, and we will start on my far left.
Okay. Let's see. All right, I just have one announcement. There is a community rabies clinic coming up on Saturday, May 12th from 2 to 4 p.m. It's at Rockwell Park Pavilion. The event will include rabies vaccination for dogs and cats. It's also an opportunity to talk to local pet stores, groomers, and daycare specialists, meet the Friends of the Bristol Animal Shelter, also learn about the Bristol Police Canine Officers, and see the CT Emergency Animal Response Vehicle that leads rapid responses for animal affected by emergencies and disasters. The fee is $15 per pet if you are going to get them vaccinated. The event was a great collaboration between the Bristol Burlington Health District, the VCA Bristol Animal Hospital, Chippens Hill Veterinary Hospital, and also the Bristol Parks and Rec Department. That's all I have.
Yes, I have an announcement that this Thursday, May 10th, the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame will be hosting a program at the Historic Society on the history of St. Anthony's high school sports. Any of you quote-unquote old-timers who might have been around when St. Anthony's was started in the 50s and 60s, they had a great tradition going. And what we decided to do is have a roundtable discussion. And the roundtable is going to feature Bob Fiandella, Maury Lavero, Tom Burke, Phil Manarino, and it's going to be moderated by John Fasola. But following the panel discussion, it's going to be open for storytelling. There's many colorful characters that worked at St. Anthony's High School, including Frank Longo and Porky Vieira and a few others that are there. And if any indication of some of the stories that I have heard leading up to this event are, I think it'll be a thoroughly enjoyable evening. So it's a free night. It's this coming Thursday, Bristol Historical Society, and it'll start at 6:30. 6:30, they're bringing in some yearbooks and some other things, and it'll be an opportunity to go around and meet some of the people and see some of the people that you may know. And of course, there'll be bring a story if you are planning to come and you'd like to tell a story to share with everybody. That'll be great. And as you probably know, the Historic Society has just completed a renovation of their meeting room, so it's a beautiful facility to look in. So it'll be a great night. So this Thursday, 6:30, program starts at 7. It's free, and there will be refreshments served afterward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. For goodness sake, Inc. is a terrific nonprofit located in Bristol, and on May 22nd at the Kinsman Brewery, we'll have one of their more significant fundraisers. The event takes place from 6 to 9. Tickets are $40, which includes dinner and entertainment, and it's a very worthy cause. In its 4.5 years of existence, For Goodness Sake has helped over 750 needy families through redistributing donated household goods and furniture. So that's May 22nd at the Kinsman Brewery. Your Honor, the only other one is the Chambers of Central Connecticut are having their annual awards dinner June 6th at the AquaTurf at 5:30. For information, go to the Chamber website. Thank you.
Councilman Fortier.
Thank you. My first one concerns the Bristol Soccer Club. They, in partnership with the Yukon men's soccer team and Pro Health, are hosting a free clinic for kids on this Friday, May 11th, from 5:30 to 7:30 on the Bristol Eastern High School turf field. This will be a great event for kids up to 8th grade. My second announcement is the Salute Dinner, which I talked about last month, which is the dinner that the city veterans put on for those that are entering the service when they finish high school. And that's going to be June 8th at Nucci's, and Tim Gamache is the person you can see if you need tickets for that. And thirdly, the annual Pine Lake Fishing Derby will be Saturday, May 12th from 8 a.m. till noon for ages 6 to 15, and there are prizes for 3 different age groups and drawings throughout the morning for fishing accessories. And that's it for me.
Hartford Hospital's mobile mammography unit will be visiting Bristol Senior Center on Thursday, June 14th, from 9 o'clock a.m. to 1:45 p.m. Eligibility includes women who are over 40 who haven't had an appointment, a mammogram, in a year and a day. Most insurances will be accepted. However, if a woman does not have insurance, there are donated funds may be available to cover the costs of the mammogram. For an appointment, contact the Senior Center. Although walk-ins are welcome, it's on a first-come, first-served basis, and there is a limited amount of capacity. So if you'd like to sign up, please call the Senior Center. The other thing I'd like to announce is last week the Senior Center had a Senior Olympics, and at that event they unveiled a new walking path around the grounds. It's a great gravel path, and it goes around the whole building, all grounds, and it's a nice walk. So if you're looking for a place to go, as I get older, my knees don't travel on the hard pavement as well. It's nice to have a gravel path to walk around. So I encourage you to take advantage of that as well.
Councilman Kelly.
Thank you, Mayor. Miss Hartford's County's Outstanding Teen 2018, Julia Paul, and her Connecticut princesses, Charlotte, Juliana, and Manette, are hosting a pasta dinner on Friday, May 11th, this Friday at 6 p.m. at Gloria Dei Lutheran Church, 355 Camp Street in Bristol. And there's going to be raffles, prizes, dancing, and karaoke. And Julia will be competing in the Miss Connecticut Outstanding Teen pageant in June. And her personal platform is B-E-U-Y-O-U, to full, be beautiful, encouraging self-esteem in today's young girls. There's also going to be a 2018 safety fair, Saturday, May 12th, at the Bristol Public Library. There's going to be free bike helmets to children, and it's on a first-come, first-served basis, and these are going to be contributed from the Bristol Elks. And helmets will be fitted by members of the Bristol Elks as well. And there are awesome raffle prizes, including infant and toddler car seats and 2 bicycles. So please join for the free fun. And that is this Saturday from 10 to 12 at the Bristol Public Library. And lastly, the DOT is having a public information meeting at the West End Association tomorrow, Wednesday, May 9th at 7 p.m. at the Riverview Apartments Community Room, 171 Laurel Street. Many of you know there's been a project in the works for a few years now to realign the intersection of Route 72 and 69. Now there is another conceptual project at the Memorial Boulevard entrance and alongside Riverside Avenue as well. And the DOT will be talking about both of these projects tomorrow, Wednesday. And excuse me, Mayor, did you have something to add about that supplemental projects along Riverside?
The DOT?
Yes.
I can, yes. So we actually have 2 projects with 2 different project numbers that are currently under consideration. The one that Councilman Kelly is referencing is funded and is going through the process. That's DOT 17187. But they've also approached the city with a conceptual plan for the continuation of Route 72 from the boulevard. So right now there's a funded project to do bridge replacements where Blakesley and the Boulevard and Riverside Avenue meet. There is a non-funded conceptual project that they want the city of Bristol to think about in terms of bringing Route 72 straight up Riverside Avenue and eliminating the sharp left turn onto Main and then the sharp right turn returning to School Street and Route 72 because of the prohibition of truck traffic on the boulevard. What they're proposing is rerouting Route 72 to continue straight, which might have an impact on existing businesses and Brackett Park. So that is an ancillary part of the project that they're looking to discuss on Wednesday night as well to kind of get a sense of whether there were some opportunities for that. There would have to go through the studies and there would have to be a replacement of green space if that were to happen. But they're very interested in hearing the West End's feedback on that proposal as well, even though it's not to date funded. I have just one quick announcement. I just wanted to say thank you to Chief Kolakowski, who hosted the Youth Cabinet tonight. It went very well. Big surprise, it was mostly all girls coming to the firehouse, very interested in meeting their sheriff firemen who are on hand to show them all the equipment and the fire trucks. And that actually is going to conclude the spring session of the Youth Cabinet. We're seeing that kids are starting to get really tied up with school activities and athletics and end of school year programs. So we're going to regroup and we're going to have another slate of programs starting in the fall. Any other announcements? Okay. Our next item under announcements is one of our newer council agenda items, and that's employee recognition. I have two. I don't know if anybody else has any that they want to bring up quickly. Okay, I just would like to acknowledge that this week that we're currently in is City Clerk Week. So an appreciation of our city clerk staff, recognizing the vital role that they play in local government. So we presented them with a proclamation this morning in their office, and we will be focusing on them through Saturday. And then later this month, it is Public Works Appreciation Month, a week within the month of May. And so we also have a proclamation prepared for the various divisions that comprise our Public Works Department as well. I'd also want to reference Harley Graham, who is our Emergency Management Director, who is part of an award-winning team with the Connecticut Citizen Corps Council, which really works on coordinating a lot of governance issues and preparedness. And they won the award based on, quote, the efforts of Harley to make sure that we were doing what we had to do. So congratulations to Harley as well. We have multiple items on our consent calendar tonight, so I would be very happy to entertain a motion to waive the reading of items A through N, unless anybody would like to pull something off for further discussion or if they have questions.
Motion to waive the reading?
Second.
Any further discussion on waiving the reading of the consent calendar, items A through N? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved?
Second.
Discussion on the consent calendar, motion to approve? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, that will bring us down to
Item 6, I believe.
our committee reports. Except there's so many consent agenda items, I can't even find it.
Number 6.
Okay, E, F, G, H, I. Okay. Starting on my far right, committee reports, Councilman Kelly?
First is school readiness, and in April, the School Readiness Council sponsored their annual Little Read in the community. The book, I'm Like You, You're Like Me by Cindy Gaynor is a book about understanding and appreciating each other. 100 books were distributed throughout Bristol. And another immensely popular event that occurred was the art show. Art Speaks on May 1st. The early education community has been dovetailing this event with the Bristol Board of Education for the past few years. And the Board of Education showcases the artwork of students K to 12. The Imagination Museum, Early Learning Site, artwork of preschool children were on display. And children from the Board of Education, Bristol Preschool, Child Care Center, Imagination Museum of Early Learning, Emmanuel Lutheran, Century Nursery School, Whiz Kids, and St. Joseph. There were 710 attendees to come to the event, and 1,500 went across the street to the Board of Education. And we're in the midst of Teacher Appreciation Week this week, and I would like to acknowledge Mr. Gerald Corcoran. And Gerald is a first grade teacher at Edgewood School. And Mr. Corcoran is very kind and relates extremely well to all of his students. And it is easy to see students respect and like him. And considering that only 1 in 10 elementary school teachers are male, any male out there considering a career in teaching, you are needed in early childhood education. So please consider a career in that. Recently, the Board of Education voted to approve the application to apply 5 additional schools to be part of the Community Eligibility Program. And this is a federal program which allows for free meals for all students in a school, regardless of family income, when at least 40% of students are deemed eligible through the Connecticut Department of Social Services. And that is it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Hahn.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Spring Triad, for the Bristol Senior Center, the Spring Triad Conference will be held at the Senior Center on Wednesday, May 16th at 1:30 to 3 o'clock. There will be door prizes, coffee, light refreshments. But Attorney Marilyn Denny will be speaking on advanced directives and living wills. Speakers from Protective Services for the Elderly and Webster Bank will also be presenting on how to keep you and your money safe. To register, call the Senior Center. On May 22nd, the Bristol Brass and Wind Ensemble will be performing in the gym from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. Tickets are free and can be picked up at the main office. They do that because there's a limited amount of space. So please check with them for tickets. You can also have dinner if you want. Grinders will be served from 5 to 6:30. You must order and pay for your grinder in advance. The cost is $7. The senior prom will be held on Thursday, May 24th from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. The event's free and tickets are available in the main office at the Senior Center. The night will feature a tropical theme with a chicken dinner being served at 5 p.m. and dancing to a live band until 9 o'clock. And finally, the Senior Center is offering a trip to Mohegan Sun to see the Connecticut Sun women's basketball team play the Minnesota Lynx on Saturday, June 9th. It's a, a nice way to cheer up some of your UConn favorite players. The cost is $50 for the bus and ticket, or $30 for just the bus and an afternoon at the casino. Sign up at the main office. And finally, the Arts, Culture, and Tourism Commission is having their first meeting this month. It's scheduled for May 23rd at 6:30, and I know there's a lot of excitement about what we're going to be getting accomplished with this commission, so I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
Councilman Ford.
Yes, I have two tonight. The first one is the Transportation Commission. We discussed at our last meeting a request that was funneled to us from the mayor from ESPN. As you may know, a new train service is scheduled from New Haven to Springfield starting soon, and there's going to be stops along the way, including Berlin, Connecticut. ESPN is requesting a bus to connect Berlin to ESPN here in Bristol so that their New York employees may be able to travel from New York City to Bristol via public transportation. We had a lively discussion at our meeting, and several city staff members are working with different state of Connecticut departments and agencies to see if they can facilitate this. My second report is from the Water Department. The 2017 Water Quality Report is on the Bristol Water Department website for anyone that's interested. And that's it for me.
Okay. Non-agenda committee reports.
Non-agenda? No.
Yes, the only one I have is from the Marketing Committee. Just a couple of things. The first one is to make sure you watch the Uniquely Bristol show on either YouTube or Nutmeg TV. It's a monthly show that's put on by Mark Thomas and the BDA. Do a wonderful job. And then the second thing is something I'd like to cover a little bit that affects everyone. And the emphasis is on cleanup. You know, there's nothing that makes the city image better than to go through or buy some beautiful grounds and buildings. And examples of this that stands out the most, and I think they've made great improvements here at this building, but if you go by ESPN and some of the other buildings in town that have immaculate grounds, that do a great job with buildings, et cetera. And I really am asking, and the Marketing Committee is asking, that all municipal departments become the shining examples for the rest of the city. I know that staffs are limited sometimes, but I think an emphasis should be placed on making the grounds look as nice as they possibly can. And this obviously needs the help of the populace to do that. Certainly you can't do it by yourselves. You can't be out there picking up after people who throw trash on the ground all the time, throw their cigarette butts wherever they want to, or do whatever they want to do. But again, I cannot tell you how many people come to me and ask that I talk about this a little bit, because again, it's something that is the image of Bristol. And those that take the time to make their property look as good as it can. I think it makes a huge difference on how the city is looked upon. And again, I want to ask if the municipal departments will be the leaders in this. Spend the extra time. The workers that are working continue to do the fine work that they do. But make sure that the grass is cut, the weeds are picked up, the trash is picked up, and do the best you can do. And then, of course, obviously, this will be passed on to other citizens in the city. There's nothing worse, and I know that Public Works is working on this all the time, when people just put the trash out to the curb, don't do anything about it. You as a citizen, I'm talking to the television audience now, you don't have to put up with this. If that's happening, call the Public Works Department. Someone will go out, they will make sure that the person that's not doing what they should be doing will be doing what they should be doing. And that'll help the city also. So again, I don't mean to be a downer here. I just think this is something that is very important for all of us to do. Let's make the city look as good as it can. And my last point, as you know, my background has been in athletics, and I was at a game today, and I won't tell you where it was, but I can't tell you the deplorable condition that the field was in. I mean, there's no excuse for that. I know it takes money to keep things up, but the money that's spent, I think we should make sure that it's put to a good use, and the playing conditions and the safety conditions are what they should be. It should be something that we're all proud of.
Great, agreed. I just have a couple quick updates, one out of the police commission. One of the things that our commission's been looking at is we've had a couple residents complain about increased traffic on their streets. So the police department and the commission are exploring ways to enforce truck regulations. The Bristol Police Department has actually partnered with the CTDMV truck squad. They've actually agreed to conduct random truck enforcement with the city of Bristol as part of their daily responsibilities as time permits. In addition, the DMV truck squad is working with the Bristol Police Traffic Division to conduct scheduled large truck inspections within certain hotspots, as have been reported by the residents. In these cases, the DMV is in a sense deputizing our traffic officers, giving them the authority to stop trucks for inspection, which is great. The Bristol Police Department, of course, supports commerce within the city, but we have to look at the safety and concerns of residents. So that was one of the things we've been looking at. And then lastly, out of the Parks Commission, we've recently started conversation about developing some type of a strategic planning subcommittee to start looking at some of the bigger picture ideas and where we want to see the parks go into the future. The commission is constantly dealing with new ideas and things that are put forward, one of which, the Kern Park that's been talked about, but we don't really have, the superintendent has identified that we don't really have a plan for, how are we going to make these decisions? What are the top priorities? And what do we need to do? So we're in the beginning stages of forming that group. So if you have any interest in that, I'd encourage you to come to the Parks Commission meetings, and we'll keep you updated on that. That's all I have.
I actually had some contact with parents this week, and so now with you bringing that up, I'll ask, because I can't make a motion, but if someone could make the motion to refer to the park board the matter of softball fields and capacity for girls and the girls' Little League teams. They currently do not have home fields, and so they bounce between some of the athletic fields owned by the Board of Education as well as the Little Leagues. If somebody could just make that motion as a courtesy so we could get that to the park board.
I'll make the motion.
I'd second it.
Any discussion on the referral to the park board on the matter of girls' softball fields? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I just had, in the interest of time, I'm just going to talk about one of our committee reports. We just quickly, the next task force meeting for the opioid public health issues is also on May 23rd at 6:30 p.m. in one of the rooms here opposite wherever the Arts Commission is. So that'll be a full night. But I just wanted to spend a few minutes letting people know, and actually it'll be a quiz for anybody who took Latin, because I think there's a term that I came across recently that really sums up economic development. Justin Malley and I have been spending a lot of time together, and I'm finding that it's something that we really have to multitask because things happen every day. And you really have to be able to have that ability, but the other necessary ingredient, really that, and I'll ask our lawyer to define it, the sine qua non, that Latin term. Do you remember what that is from law school?
Absolutely not. No.
It's that
it's a
something
quid pro
that
quo.
indispensable, essential elements. So that ability to multitask, but also having attractive incentives really draws people to the city in terms of what we have to offer. And the enthusiasm from the BDA staff, as well as just being able to go out into the community and say, we have something that you might be interested in, is really an effective strategy. And right now, we have 8 grant applications that are currently wending their way through the process. 2 manufacturers relocating from elsewhere, 1 local manufacturer who's looking for an equipment grant, 4 downtown food, drink options, and 1 downtown service establishment. So in general, I think things are really starting to percolate, and hopefully, even if half of these pan out, it's going to be really good for the city. And then I also just wanted to take 30 seconds to talk about, some of you may remember, I think, Justin, was it February that we quickly put together the 1265B for silent logistics? So we moved very quickly in order to work with the BDA. They had a meeting, we had a special meeting, because we wanted to be able to present to them that if you choose Bristol, these are some of the incentives that are available to you. And the good news is they chose Bristol. So I'd like to thank everybody involved, because that was just another opportunity that, somewhat inconvenient at the time in the middle of the budget session when we had all kinds of meetings already scheduled, but they were impressed with that. And they came and they made that lease decision up on Chippens Hill. And another piece of good news that the assessor had shared with me that I don't know that we ever talked about is the fact that Arnett Sales, there were lots of headlines last year about them leaving the former General Motors site up there. They had since changed their mind, and so they are actually staying in Bristol as well, which is a significant amount of square feet that was available up there, but also for the grand list. So all these little pieces of good news from an economic development standpoint, and lots of things currently happening. So that's my 1 committee report. Now, we took a rather circuitous route to get back to item 6, and I do apologize, but my agenda got all mixed up with my other papers. We're going to go back to our regular agenda item 6 now and go back to our committee reports as listed on the agenda, and we are going to start with the real estate reports.
Thank you, Your Honor. 6A on our agenda is a motion to be read from the Real Estate Committee. I hereby move that the following property be referred to Planning Commission for a Connecticut General Statute 8-24 report, the Real Estate Committee and the Public Works for a determination of future municipal use, 14-16 Lincoln Place.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
6B, Your Honor, is also from the Real Estate Committee. I hereby move that the following property be referred to the Planning Commission for a Connecticut General Statute, Section 8-24 report, the Real Estate Committee and the to Public Works for a determination of future municipal use, 220-222 South Street.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And, Your Honor, this is not on the agenda, but it is also from the Real Estate Committee as a late submission. I hereby move that the following property
First, we need to bring on the
Oh,
table.
excuse me.
Motion to bring on the table a matter concerning,
A referral to the Planning Commission, Real Estate Committee, and Public Works for determination of future use for Lot P-1233 Main Street.
So moved.
Second.
discussion on the motion to bring the item onto the table. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Your Honor. A motion, I hereby move that the following property be referred to Planning Commission for a Connecticut General Statute 8-24 report, the Real Estate Committee, and to Public Works for a determination of future municipal use, Lot P-233 Main Street.
Can you just maybe visually let us know which one that is? 233 Main Street?
Jeff?
Is it East Main Street or Main Street?
on Main Street, it's the Bristol Hospital.
The corner
back of
building?
right, by the railroad trestle, by the railroad tracks. So we were talking about doing a line adjustment, but it may end up being a deed. We're still exploring that.
That's the sliver we talked about with the,
Yes.
that was,
It used to be owned by Conrail.
Your Honor, that was as part of the negotiation with Bristol Hospital, we had to do some, we'll say, title search work with regard to some property lines that were in, maybe say, a little irregular and in, not dispute, but
That's correct.
not quite so clear. So
Right.
this is just a piece that was negotiated.
Correct. We're thinking about doing a line adjustment, but we're
Right.
still
Okay.
talking.
I just wasn't sure what you were talking about, because Main
Right.
Street doesn't go that high in numbers. So is that like a lot number or something?
It's, yes, it's, is it? It's just a portion.
Okay.
That's it.
Does anybody have any questions of Attorney Stieg or Councilman Proleski on this matter? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Your Honor, 6C is from the Ordinance Committee. It's a proposed amendment to the Code of Ordinance regarding flood and erosion control. In accordance with Section 21F of the Charter of the City of Bristol, I hereby move that the reading of the proposed amendments to the Code of Ordinances to be introduced this state pertaining to Chapter 8, Section 8-2, flood and erosion control be waived.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Do you want to elaborate?
Well, we're going to introduce, I'll read the motion next.
Okay.
In accordance with Section 21F of the Charter of the City of Bristol, the following amendment to the Code of Ordinance are hereby introduced. I hereby move that the time and place of Wednesday, May 16th, 2018, at 4:50 p.m. in the Council Chambers, City Hall, 111 North Main Street, Bristol, Connecticut, to be set for the holding of a public hearing thereon by the Ordinance Committee, and that the city clerk publish notice of said public hearing and the proposed amendments to the Code of Ordinances as required by the city charter.
Second.
Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Before we go to Salary Committee, do you have more on ordinance to bring on the table?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Your Honor, I'd like a motion to bring a motion onto the agenda to refer to the Ordinance Committee review of the pension ordinances in order to amend the Code of Ordinances to recognize the proposed changes to the pension recognition negotiated recently.
Second.
Any discussion? This is related to the new accounting recognition that we achieved during the budget process. I think most of you are familiar with it. So the motion to bring onto the table has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Your Honor, in accordance with Section 21F of the Charter of the City of Bristol, the following amendments to the Code of Ordinances be introduced. A motion to refer to the that's not correct. Let me back up a minute there. I'd like to propose a motion to refer to the Ordinance Committee a review of the pension ordinances in order to amend said ordinances to recognize the proposed changes to the pension recognition we negotiated recently.
Second.
Further discussion on the motion? And obviously, this will start the process, which will include public hearings and additional discussion here. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
One more, Your Honor. Motion to bring onto the agenda, the fire, a proposal to refer to the Board of Finance, a donation from the National, the Elks National Foundation in the amount of $1,500 to the fire department for safety equipment.
Is there a second to refer to the Board of Finance?
Second.
Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll move to 6D, Salary Committee.
Okay. For the Salary Committee, we have items 6D, E, F, G, and H, and then I do have an additional motion to bring to the table. So I'll start with item 6D, to approve an upgrade to the position of Registrar Clerk, Local 233, Code 5, $19.30 an hour to $21.47 an hour, to a Code 7, $22.31 an hour to $24.73 an hour.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6E is to approve an upgrade to the position of Principal Clerk in the Town Clerk's Office, Local 233, Code 4A, $18.64 an hour to $20.78 an hour, to an Administrative Assistant Town Clerk, Local 233, Code 5, $19.30 an hour to $21.47 an hour.
Second.
Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
6F is to approve an upgrade to the position of Administrative Assistant Town Clerk, Local 233, Code 5, $19.30 an hour to $21.47 an hour, to a Senior Administrative Assistant Town Clerk, Local 233, Code 7, $22.31 an hour to $24.73 an hour.
Second.
Discussion on the motion?
Yes, Your Honor, just to, again, the end of that is the referral to the Board of Finance also, right? It's all, according to reading it here, they'll all be referred to the Board of Finance.
Okay, I don't have that in the motions on the agenda item.
Oh, okay.
But I think,
I was just
It is
reading.
on.
Yeah, it is on the agenda.
Okay.
It didn't come in through the motions, but you generally, they'll get referred to the Board of
I
Finance.
just wanted to make that clear, that's all.
Thank you.
okay, we can do that for all of them if you want at
Right.
the end, so
Right.
that it's clear. For item 6G, oh, I'm sorry, we haven't voted on,
So the motion
F.
has been made and seconded. All in favor of I can't even read
F.
that. F.
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
6G is to approve an upgrade of 2 statutory and legislative coordinator positions, Local 233, Code 7, to $22.31 an hour to $24.73 an hour, to a Code 8, $24.01 an hour to $26.52 an hour.
Second.
Discussion on the motion? Hearing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
For these 4 positions, I would say that I would make a motion that they be referred to the Board of Finance, and also that those pay changes, those upgrades take place effective July 1st.
Okay, the motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
City Clerk Appreciation Week. I kind of think we should do that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 6H.
6H is to approve up to 2 additional police officers, and my understanding is that based on the budget, that it is 1 additional police officer position, contingent upon the approval of the Board of Finance or the Joint Board. And this, for the public's understanding, is to add an additional school resource officer position.
So did the salary committee meet and approve up to
We
2?
we had approved up to 2. I
Okay.
guess what I'm saying is,
It's only going to be 1 at this
it's only
point.
going to be 1.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion on the motion, which is in essence the creation of a second school resource officer within the middle schools?
Why, can you just clarify why this wasn't part of the budget process? Like, why are we doing a motion here? for-
It's just, it came after. This was already, the police officer position was recommended in the Board of Finance budget last week, and it'll go to the joint board, but the salary committee didn't meet in time, so it's just a timing issue. Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And I do have one more motion, so I'd like a motion to bring to the floor, a motion to upgrade the position of tax collector.
Okay, the motion has been made to bring it to the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You have the floor.
The motion would be the Salary Commission recommends to the City Council to approve an upgrade to the position of tax collector. This is a BPSA Code 9, $73,824 annually to $90,484 annually, to a Code 10, $81,181 annually to $99,502 annually, and to refer to the Board of Finance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are there any other committee reports at this time?
I failed to share one, and after the library director has sat through the entire meeting, I think I need to read it.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's not Library Appreciation Week, though.
No, it's not, no. Debbie, I haven't forgotten you. The Bristol Public Library has announced plans for the annual summer reading program titled Libraries Rock. All departments, including the Manras Library branch in Forestville, will be offering a wide variety of programs for all ages. Register at any location to be entered to win prizes provided by the Friends of the Library. The adult program will kick off the summer with a free after-hours concert at the main library on Friday, June 1st at 6:30, featuring C.J. West and the Downtown Train. As part of the children's program, free lunch will be offered for children up to the age of 18 during the summer. Across the state of Connecticut, there are over 600 sites where families can go to get free lunch, and the library is pleased to be one of the locations supported by this USDA program at no cost to the city. So along with yoga after lunch, participants will also get to spin the prize wheel, explore the Spot a Rock Wall, and enjoy special programs and read. And for more information and to check out the full schedule of programs, stop by the library today. Thank you.
Any other committee reports? Okay. I did add, but in the interest of time, Charter Revision, I know they're meeting on May 16th. I know they're getting to the point where they're narrowing their focus, and items may start to come on or off the agenda and then be finalized. I do know that they did receive language from the Corporation Counsel's office last week in terms of the behavior and accepted standards for elected and appointed officials, which they were happy to receive. So that will be continuing. And then I think I already announced the date for the Mayor's Opioid Task Force. We have almost 36 people participating, and it's going very well. Moving on to unfinished business on my far left.
None.
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 Done.
Okay. New business starting on my far right.
I have no new business.
None for me, Your Honor.
Your Honor, can I talk a little bit about the budget process?
Yes.
Would be appropriate?
Sure.
You know, there'll be a joint board meeting on May 21st, which will, we hope to adopt the budget for the next fiscal year. And there's a lot of people, Your Honor, I think we need to thank. The Board of Finance put in countless hours in their budget hearings. The department heads, I think, did a great job this year in presenting their budgets and then knowing what the limitations the city had. This year was particularly challenging. We started the year over $4 million in the hole, as Rob and Manuel said earlier. And so it was particularly challenging. And one of the highlights, I think, in recognition what happened this year is the comptroller, Diane Waldron, and her staff. They were outstanding. And one of the things we did towards the end was we negotiated with the unions with regard to an accounting recognition change for our pension funds, which Bristol, if you don't know, is probably in the top 1% in the country in our pension fund, in our funding. And as a result of that, you know, a group of us have been talking for about a year and a half on ways of using city assets to benefit the city, either in reinvesting in the city or using our city assets to the benefit of our tax base and our taxpayers. And what resulted was, I think, something that was very innovative. and something that we probably should have done a long time ago. Through the work of Diane Waldron, our city pension attorneys, the actuaries, we came up with a plan that you'll probably see and hear about more this month about how we recognize the pension funding mechanism, which will save the city this year alone in a contribution of about $3.7 million. That in itself brought a very challenging potential mill rate increase to something that I think is very tolerable for the city under the circumstances with lack of state funding and some other line item challenges. I want to thank Jim Pelletier from the police union, Sean Lennon from the fire union, and Your Honor, I did tell you, I don't think you got enough credit for this because you got the people in the room, and because she's conflicted with the police union negotiations, Diane Waldron and I covered that, and I got to tell you something, it wasn't easy. But we got it done because of the spirit of cooperation that exists, and that's something that I think you can't underestimate. All of this is really important because in the mayor's strategic plan going forward, you're going to see a lot more of these types of initiatives, innovation, and I think thinking out of the box in terms of bringing the city to the next level. And Mayor, I want to thank you, one, for your leadership, but also, you know, pretty bold decision making. I got to tell you, we spent a lot of time together the last couple of weeks, and I want to thank you. I'm really happy so far where it's going, and a lot of people had to be recognized, I think.
I think that it's important too that the unions understand and that the public understands that no monies are moving from any of the three funds, either back and forth or being used elsewhere. It's simply recognizing the surplus as an asset and using it accordingly, which is going to mean that it's not going to trigger a contribution from the city side of the budget. And this is something also that is not just a one-year bump. It's something that over the next 10-plus years, we're going to see, based on the fiscal stability issue of the world in general, that we may not have to make those contributions, which I think at the high point over the next 7 years was over $5 million.
Almost seven, I think.
So, you know, I think that this is one of those issues when people come together and there's good relationships and there's some trust, is despite the hard questions that Councilman Proleski alluded to, the fire union and the police union really stood up and said, we want what's best for the city, and I commend them for that. So for all of the people out there who tend to like to poke fun at municipal employees in general or attach certain stereotypes to police and fire specifically, I like to suggest that maybe this year in Bristol is not the time to do that, because the budget and the success of the budget rests strongly on their shoulders. Not only were they protecting us, you know, as they do every day and night, but from a fiscal standpoint, they protected us as well, and I'd like to thank them again. You do have another item of new business, Councilman Proleski, for the downtown parking situation that you would like to bring to the table, right?
Thank you, Your Honor. You're right. Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to bring to the floor a motion to about regarding parking licenses agreement between the City of Bristol and Webster Bank.
Motion has been made to bring the Webster Bank parking lease to the table. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Your Honor. I hereby move.
Can we vote first?
Oh,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I got excited about the budget thing. All right, I hereby move that the parking license agreement between the City of Bristol and Webster Bank for shared use of Webster Bank property on 150 Main Street be approved, and that the mayor or acting mayor be authorized to execute this agreement on behalf of the City of Bristol.
Second.
So, discussion on the motion. I'll let you say a few words about this.
You would like to, Your Honor?
So obviously with the parking being constricted now with Bristol Hospital starting their project, Justin Malley and I talked with Webster Bank and asked them if we could formalize what is in essence an informal agreement that customers of Main Street park at the Webster Bank to the rear, and they agreed to do so, the good neighbors that they've been for a very long time downtown. So this is going to formalize the work of our lawyers and their lawyers to have an agreement so that Pint and Play, the uniform store, Ascension Athletics, everybody that's on that corner will now have a place to direct their customers for parking and not have it impact their business with the fences that have recently been erected for the construction project to begin. So the motion has been made and seconded. Any further comment, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Make sure City Clerk has that. Okay, new business. I just have one item, and it's actually going to be a referral to the Ordinance Committee. Many people probably have noticed, and if the viewing public is watching the show, they will be happy to hear that city government has recognized the fact that we've had an increase in aggressive panhandling within the city. There's been some police investigation into this over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and there's actually some evidence that might support the fact that this is actually a scam being run, and that these cardboard signs are being assigned and people are being placed strategically along Route 6 at plaza entrances. So the chief of police has reviewed our existing loitering and peddling licenses, and he's suggesting a variety of recommendations to improve and strengthen them. Many of them date back decades and are no longer applicable. So if somebody would be kind enough to make a referral to the Ordinance Committee, he has a packet that he's prepared that he has forwarded in advance of tonight's meeting because he couldn't be here. But I would like to be able to get started on that so that we won't have this adverse impact both on people who live and work here, but also people coming through to attend events and shop here.
I'd make a motion to move the panhandling item to the Ordinance Committee.
Second.
Any further discussion on the referral to ordinance? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Last call for new business. Okay, hearing none, I will turn the meager amount of our agenda left over to the city clerk for announcements.
Resignations, there are none, Your Honor,
Excellent.
and so appointments for you.
Okay, I do have appointments. The first one is to appoint Ann Bednaz as acting tax collector.
Second.
Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I believe Ann is still here. Ann, why don't you stand up and say hi to everyone? She'll be taking over for Teresa Babin, who has recently left to take a job in her hometown, and I know she's probably not watching the city council, but I'd like to wish her well. She did a great job while she was here in the city. Thank you, Ann. We look forward to working with you. The next item is to appoint Kristen Giantonio to replace David Scott Jr. for an unexpired term to November 11th, 2019 on the Board of Education. And Kristen is actually with us tonight. If you'd like to just stand up and say hello. Thank you for taking on this very important appointment.
Thank you for your consideration, Mayor. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So that is my motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Kristen. Make sure you get sworn in by the city clerk so you can join that committee ASAP. Inland Wetlands Commission. These are mayor's appointments. I am making an appointment of James Karras to replace Paul D'April for a 3-year term to May of 2021. My second one is to reappoint Chet Reed for a 3-year term to May of 2021. To reappoint Richard Ministro as a regular member, a 3-year term to 5/21. And to appoint David Rooks to replace Richard Ministro as an alternate member since he was appointed a regular member for an unexpired term to January of 2021. Next, Retirement Board. I'm making an appointment of Thomas Denoto to replace William Wolf as the BPSA representative on the Retirement Board. This is effective June 1st. It is a 5-year term to May 2023, and both William Wolf, who will be leaving after several years of service, and Tom Denoto will be attending together the Retirement Board meeting on Thursday, and then Tom will take over in June. For the Bristol Historic District Commission, to reappoint Linda Russell, which was a Section 2-9 resignation for the unexpired term she has till January of 2023. Is there a, wait, did I need a motion for Retirement Board, or is that a mayor's appointment? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Let's go back to the Retirement Board for the appointment of Thomas Denoto. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Tom. Okay, back to Historic District Commission to reappoint Linda Russell for the unexpired term to January of 2023. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is for Bristol School Readiness, and it is to appoint Brenda Moore to replace Lauren Incognito as the Bristol Housing Authority representative. The term is through August of 2018. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is, we're going to revisit the Arts, Culture, and Tourism Commission. Last month, we appointed 6 of the 7 commission members. Tonight, we're appointing the 7th. Her name is Alexandra Thomas, and I'd like a second.
Second.
Okay. Discussion on the motion. Alexandra is actually returning from Brandis. She'll be graduating this month, and she's going to be pursuing a PhD in art history at Yale. She'll be living at home in Bristol while she's doing that, and she's very excited to join the commission. So welcome to Ally. And then in addition, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Motion carries. And then in addition to that, I need to ratify the terms that I've assigned to the 7 members. So for Alexandra Thomas, she will be serving for a 1-year term. Jesse Gallagher, who we appointed last month, 3-year term. Lindsay Vigue, 3-year term. Samantha Cloutier, 2-year term. Kim Valente, 1-year term. William Stortz, 3-year term. Juliette Norton, a 2-year term. So if I could just have a motion ratifying those for the record.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion on the motion assigning terms to the Arts, Culture, and Tourism Commission. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'd also like to appoint Allison Wadowski as the Citizen Consumer Representative to the Youth Commission. She's replacing a member whose resignation is not received yet, or we've not yet assigned whether he is a Section 2-9. So I'd like to make her appointment contingent upon us finishing that piece of the paperwork.
So moved.
It's a 3-year term.
Second.
Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I'd just like to make an announcement. We still have 2 vacancies on the Inland Wetlands Commission for 2 alternates, and we have a youth vacancy on the Youth Commission for a member under 18. Now, the last motion under appointments is to disband the Arts and Culture Task Force that worked from December through March in order to create the groundwork for what was eventually adopted by ordinance for the commission. So I'd like that motion.
So moved.
Discussion? Okay, if they're just letters of thanks could be sent to them as part of this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and that's all I have for appointments. Okay. I've lost my agenda again. Okay, I'll turn it over to you, Therese.
Item 11, approval of installation agreement between Yankee Gas Services Company doing business as Eversource Energy and City of Bristol to provide gas service into the Center Square re-subdivision and authorization for mayor or acting mayor to execute.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 12, authorization for Mayor Ellen Zappo-Sasu or acting mayor to sign any and all documents associated with site access agreements for monitoring relating to Bristol's closed landfill.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 13, approval of proposed relocation of stormwater easements on 150 Sherwood Road, 27 Sharon Street, and 28 Sharon Street, with referral to Corporation Council to review any necessary documents and authorization for mayor or acting mayor to sign.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion of the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And the last two items are the executive sessions. One is the foreclosure matter of City of Bristol versus Dolores Hudak et al., HHB CV 16603, 4534S, and the executive session regarding the review and discussion of recommendations concerning sexual harassment investigations.
Okay, Attorney Clift, are we ready on 14?
Is that the HUDAC?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd asked that that be held over. I just talked with the council who's handling that, and that's still not ripe for a decision. So if we could just pass that one
Okay.
for tonight. And then on the other one, that involves personnel issues, so it would be just myself and Attorney Giovanna Weller.
Okay.
Okay.
So is there a motion to go into executive session for item 15?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We will be in executive session for a little while. Thank you.
Back from executive session to regular session?
Second?
Is there a discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, no votes were taken in executive session. Are there any motions to come before the city council tonight?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.